This is lesson 7. We've been talking about willpower and the effect of willpower on the flow of energy to the body, into your environment, into, you might call it your aura. Some people talk about a literal light surrounding their bodies. Whether it's literal to your mind or whether it's figurative expression, it nevertheless remains strong that people of high energy seem to be surrounded by a kind of energy field that you can actually feel sometimes when you're near somebody. Now, what makes this, apart from willpower, is another quality, concentration. You'll see, as I said a few lessons ago, that people of great magnetism, people of success, are always people with a great capacity for concentration. Where most people's minds flitter here and there, they're able to put their mind on one thing and keep it there. Where most people sort of go back and forth, should I, shouldn't I, is it a good idea, is it a bad idea, all the various uncertainties that come into the mind, they put their mind on it and it stays there. And in that, they get their answers, they know what to do. Now, what we have to battle here is what you might call mental static. Concentration requires a great deal of clarity of mind, so that when your mind is there, it's not sort of becoming fogged and fuzzied by all these other thoughts. Your mind is just right there on one thing. If you can develop that kind of mental clarity that comes from getting rid of static in the mind, then you will be able to concentrate. What is mental static? Well, you know how it is when you turn on the radio and you don't have the program just right, or maybe the sun's energies are disturbing the reception of the radio set, or maybe there's some sort of electric gadget nearby that's creating noise. In all of these cases, you've got the program trying to come through, and you've got all these other disturbances that keep invading and making it difficult for your mind really to grasp what's being said. Well, we have that same problem in our minds on another level. Doubt is a kind of mental static. I think it's a good idea, but on the other hand, is it really? Other people have tried it and failed. Could I really succeed? Uncertainty, insecurity in yourself. Laziness is a kind of static. You want to, and on the other hand, you don't want to. It's too much trouble. There are many, many negative traits. One would be a very important one, an important one to consider in the whole subject of leadership, and that's the emotions. Because harmful emotions are enough in themselves to absolutely paralyze the will, destroy your magnetism, make you incapable of succeeding or being effective in anything that you try to do. You try doing something when you're upset. You just can't do it well. Far better to get out and take a walk and get calm and then come back to it. I know a man who was the president of a number of companies, owned lots of companies, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 of them, was on the board of directors of others. He had enormous responsibilities. And he came to work after noon every day. And his associates at work used to say, well, with all your responsibilities, how can you afford to stay away as long as you do? His answer was, because of those responsibilities, I can't afford not to. He didn't explain himself, and I don't know how many of them understood him. But what he did every morning was just calm his mind. He would meditate. But he would get into that space where he was concentrated, where he was calm. And then what happened was that when he came to work, where other people would be thinking about a thing again and again, worrying about it, is it a good idea, is it a bad idea, he would look at it and he would know immediately. His mind was so calm, so clear, so free of static, that he could solve, without very much expenditure of energy, things in a trice so that other people he could do in a day what other people would spend a month trying to accomplish. So, you've heard of efficiency experts going into offices. You've probably had this sort of thing in wherever you work. Coming in and telling people how to cut corners and be able to produce something with a minimum of energy, with a minimum of trouble and difficulty. Well, you need to be an efficiency expert also in your mind. Learn to direct your thoughts so efficiently that with a minimum of effort, you arrive at the same conclusions. And in fact, usually much better conclusions. Now that kind of concentration, without static, also is magnetic. When people can think that way, somehow they are able to magnetize other people to think that way too. And if in leadership you have that kind of magnetism that comes from mental clarity and concentration, then what you will find is that you are able to make them also respond in the same way, that they become more calm, that they become more concentrated. There's a highway safety dictum, courtesy is contagious. Well, magnetism is contagious too. When you have this kind of magnetism, when you have this kind of concentration, then you find that the people around you begin to develop that also, and they get their answers more quickly, more readily. So remember then that concentration is the key to success. A calm mind, a static free mind, as we put it, and with that degree of concentration, what is concentration? To be able to take your mind from all objects of distraction and keep it on one thing at a time. I would highly recommend the practice of meditation. And even if you do it only 5 minutes, 15 minutes a day, you'll see a great change in your life. You'll notice from the way people's eyes move. Their eyes are a very good indicator of how calm they are. Restless people, people whose minds are full of that mental static we've been talking about, they're always sort of shifting around, their eyes are blinking all the time. People who are calm, their eyes don't blink unnecessarily, their eyes are still. When you can look at your problems with a still gaze, then you will be able to penetrate through all fog surrounding it and get right to the heart of any solution that you're trying to find.